Hello, we're going to show you how to make one of these today, which is a Sash Flyscreen from one of our Flyscreen Queen kits. These are very effective. You slip them into your sash window, pull them apart, and they... Right, what you'll have here are the profiles. In all, you have 8 profiles, long ones and short ones. You can, if you do your measurements, if you want to make it smaller, narrower, or whatever way you want to do it, now is the time to cut these profiles if you need to. In most cases you just make these up. So I take the shorter ones first, and then I get the corners. 8 of these corners. So these are the corners. Now the corners are very important because there's a right way and a wrong way to put these in. Where you have the profile, you should have the hexagonal shape facing that way, because there's a groove that runs around the profile. There's a groove that runs around the profile, and that matches up with the indentation there. And then what I do with the shorter pieces is I sort of trial fit these. So they are tight, but you put them in. So just put one in there and put another one in here like that. So there you go. That's just push fit on either end. Now, in order to fit these, you are going to have to get a proper hammer, a rubber hammer or a wooden hammer, in order to knock this in. And what I will tell you is, when you're doing this, so you need to put it on somewhere you don't mind getting dented, on a piece of wood, and it needs quite a whack. Okay, and just to tell you, once you've got these in, you won't get them out. They will not come out. I know, because I've tried. They'll only come out by breaking them, really, and even then you'll still have a bit left in there. So make absolutely sure these are facing the right way. So it's the groove on the profile, the indentation, and the hexagonal shape, not the nice round shape there. So it's a hexagon. Okay, so I put that down there, and so you're putting in 2 at once, and then, so there you go, that's come in at the bottom, so that's still slightly in at the top, so that needs a bit more of a whack. Well, that's done, and then all you have to do is just peel off the little bits of plastic that come out with it. And so repeat this 4 times with the other profiles. Right, so you've got your shorter pieces which have the ends in, and then you want to join these up. You push fit at the top, and the bottom might again, it's all got to be the correct way around, and then this will go in the top. Right, and then you will make up your frame. Your frame is now ready, one of 2 frames that you will make. And what you're going to do now is put some material into it. Right, with the frame facing upwards on a nice flat table, the groove should be facing you, then you put the material over the top of it. You get your rubber spline. Now you may have a pusher tool that comes with this little plastic that will help you push it into the groove. I use just a blunt old chisel that I like using, and you press from corner to corner. So there we go. When you've got it in, you can sort of tension it as you go along. Don't make it too tight, just put a bit of pressure on it as you do it, and then once you're happy with it, you cut off the excess with a knife. I use a scalpel, but you can just use a Stanley knife, a craft knife, whatever, and just run along the edge where the spline is, and it will just separate. So there you go. Just cut all the way around. Once you've cut off the excess material, then on the longest edges you can put the self-adhesive brush, which means you get a tight fit against the window, and it's really very simple. So I'm not going to show you how to do that because it's so basic, but you just pull off the self-adhesive strip and it will stick to the top. But I just do the long edges first, and you'll find out why that's the case in a moment. So there you go. That's done, but now what you've got to put on are the corners. Now what you do is you take the two frames that you have made up and you place them together. It's on the inside line. So what you're doing is you're placing the rubber spline side to face each other. So they go together like a sandwich. Put them together, and if there is a tiny bit of, they're a tiny bit out, you can give them a sort of a tiny twist, because if they're not fairly square, they might be a bit resistant. So you can give it a tiny bit of a knockabout. Don't go too mad, because you can break a corner eventually, but you can be fairly hard with them. And then what you do is you put the corners on, and these corners come as two sets. They are different. So two are made one way and two are made the other. You've got a blank and an open place on them. So the way that you fit them, the sides must be on the same side. So if you can see it, you've got the blank at the top, blank at the top, and it's the opposite way around, so that can still pull out. We've got to do it the opposite way around at the other end. So I'm going here. Well, these might sort of bulge out a bit, but they'll soon settle down. But there you go. So on this side you've got the other way around. So the blank piece is at the bottom, and that means it can pull out. There you go. Initially it's a bit tight, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Just tug at it and they will pull along the length. And just to say, if you do modify these so you make it so the height is lower, always cut these together so that they're exactly the same. Don't just measure each one and then cut them individually. If you can cut them all together, that's the only way to do it, because otherwise they won't be square. But otherwise, that's all you do, and now just put them into your sash window and they will work extremely well. So there you go. And also, that's why the last part that you do is you fit this piece of brush, self-adhesive brush, on the part that moves. You don't need to put them on that side because that isn't going to rest against anything. Just put them there because that will go to the edge of the window. And that's it. And if you've got any issues, give us a call. But these are very straightforward to put together. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.